We're on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of Smith Falls Equity for All Committee for Thursday, July 10th, 2025. On July 10th, 2025, we acknowledge that the sacred land in which Smith Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and its rich Indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We're grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We're also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We are mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all the relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, and being mindful of generations to come. I'll call the meeting to order at 9:05 a.m. Looking for a motion for approval of the agenda as presented. Moved by Diana, second by Mitra. All in favor? That's carried. I hope we'll have an opportunity to review the minutes of the previous meeting. Motion to approve minutes. Yes, moved by Diana, second by Mitra again. Okay, all in favor? That's well as carried. I'll ask for disclosure of monetary interest or pecuniary interest. I see none. So we're very grateful to have a delegation today. Sue Brandom with the Neighborhood Climate Concierge Program. So I assume the two of you are going to join the podium.
Sadie is going to present.
Sadie's going to present it. Okay, so Sadie, you're welcome. And
answer some questions.
Okay.
Just my ride.
And so I get you to introduce yourself and your role as well.
Absolutely. My name is Sadie Burley. I am the project coordinator for the Neighborhood Climate Concierge Program for Climate Network Lanark.
Welcome.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having us. You'll switch to slides?
Yep, just
perfect.
Give me a wink and I'll do it for you.
All right. Not sure about the wink, but I'll signal. Okay. So just introducing Climate Network Lanark. We are a local not-for-profit working to support the region of Lanark County at Smith Falls. So today we're going to be sharing a little bit about the Neighborhood Climate Concierge Program and how we are helping residents here in the county and Smith Falls access rebates, reduce energy bills, and improve climate resilience at home. Next slide, please. So the concierge program helps homeowners navigate retrofits. So things like energy audits, insulation, heat pumps, solar panels, and emergency preparedness. So each group meets monthly for a duration of 6 months, and the meetings last 2 hours. And we bring in expert speakers, and one of the most important things is that we build peer support. So homeowners are able to ask other homeowners questions about how their retrofits are going. And we really tailor it to our region. So for example, for the emergency preparedness, we're not going to be talking about things like earthquakes, but we're going to be covering things like wildfires and floods. And really, it's a mainly community-driven initiative. Next slide, please. So this initiative already had a pilot, and we had some amazing feedback from participants, as you can see in the quotes here. So many of our participants have shared that the program helped them clarify things. As I'm sure many of you know, being a homeowner, just living in a house or an apartment comes with a lot of difficulties. So having access to not only get the confidence to be able to solve all those things and improve those things has really helped people out there. Well, yeah. Thank you. So each session, as I mentioned, includes a presentation from an expert, and the topics here are the topics that we cover. And we also talk about the rebates that are currently available. So rebates like the Greener Homes Program and the Better Homes Lanark, Save on Energy, the CMCH Eco Plus, etc. And so we walk them through what these programs entail, what they need to do to apply to these programs, and we help them compare the options and help them navigate what's best for them. Next slide, please. Yeah. So thank you to the success of our pilot program. We received a major boost in funding from the Peter Gilligan Foundation and from the county. We're just finishing up a contract with them. So our goal is to reach 400 homeowners in the next 2 years, thanks to the help of these programs. And right now we're actively trying to build a group in Smiths Falls and the surrounding areas. We currently have 2 groups set up in Perth, one in Almont, one in Lanark Highlands, and we're still waiting to get a bit more participants for the virtual and Carleton Place groups. So we have a few people from Smiths Falls on our wait list. The ideal number per group is between 8 and 12 homeowners. So we still need a few more to get the group started. The town's size, community values, and strong leadership make it a perfect place to continue with this initiative. Many residents here qualify for many of the rebates that I mentioned before. Yeah, so there's a lot more support than people often realize is available, especially for lower income households. Many upgrades are completely free. You're able to get things like free heat pumps, free upgrades to fridges and freezers, free dehumidifiers, free insulation. And also what I mean by lower income might not be what is typically thought of. While some programs, lower income might mean, say, $60,000 for a 2-person household. Some of the other programs are, especially this one with the heat pumps, for like a 3-person household, I believe the threshold is $70,000. So it's a lot easier to achieve low income than people realize. And yeah, we just want to make these programs common knowledge. Next slide, please. Why we're here is because we would love your help in spreading the word about what we're doing. We'd be really grateful in getting the word out. As I mentioned, we are going to have 2 programs running in Perth, but somehow we don't have any in Smiths Falls. We're not able to get a word out here. We've been on the radio. We've been putting out news articles and social media, and just not breaking that barrier here in Smiths Falls. So we would love to be able to reach people here, hopefully with your help we can do that. And I think there's one more slide there, maybe. No, that's it. That's it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sadie. Questions? Comments? Peter?
Thanks, Sadie and Sue. When you say, I have 2 questions, and I love the program. When you say you have 2 groups running in Perth, what does that mean? Like, do people have to just keep going to a group, or there's organized groups that host events every so often?
Sorry, I should have been more clear. So what I mean by 2 groups is we have had enough homeowners sign up to form 2 groups. And again, the groups are between 8 and 12 members. The first one is 12 people, and the second one in Perth that's currently forming is 10 homeowners. So these are the groups of participants. We call them clusters. They meet once a month for a period of 6 months, and it's for 2 hours. And so we have managed to form this first group in Perth, which was actually the first one to form after the pilot. And then we have enough participants to form a second one now.
With the goal that they'll learn enough, everything they need to know, that each individual group member will go ahead and do as much as they want to with the energy.
Yes. So, I mean, obviously, so because we're non-for-profit, we have to respond to the people that gave us money, which in this case is the Peter Gilligan Foundation and the county. So our goal is to reduce greenhouse gases. Because we're going to be in partnership with the county's goal, for example, with the Better Homes Land program, is to reduce greenhouse gases of homeowners by 30%. So our goals align in a way. We're not going to be we can't force anyone to do any of these retrofits. We mainly want to educate people, but we highly encourage people to get things done like energy assessments, which is the first step in understanding your home and into being able to reduce these greenhouse gases. A lot of these programs offer free energy assessments. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know what energy assessment is, and they're just paying through the roof for utilities, which is really unfortunate, and we want to help them reduce that. So we're just pretty much holding their hand. It's like, okay, here's your home. Let's do this together.
So if I could just add,
Yes.
so the structure, Peter, is we have over 6 months. We have one meeting each month of only 2 hours. And in each meeting, we bring in an expert speaker. So we bring in an expert speaker on home audits. We bring in an expert speaker on heat pumps, an expert speaker on resilience, on solar, that sort of thing. And it's pretty intense. So people really do learn a lot in each session. We've structured it over that long period of time because we figured out that it actually takes time for people to absorb and make the connections with the home assessors or the contractors or whatever, right? And get them in. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And so that's why we...
And they move at their own pace.
Yes.
Okay, so my second question, if I could. See, I think this structure works really well for me and a lot of maybe people at the table. Have you guys, and I'm sure you have, like one of the Smith Falls is a little different than Perth. And the core group that this committee is really interested in is not below 70, maybe below 35. Or is there a model, or is that model work for that population?
Yes. So that was just giving an example of the amount, because usually we have found that when we say lower income, people don't even want to apply because they either think there's not applicable for them, or because they don't want to because they feel bad. There's many reasons. So yes, so all of those are applicable for residents here in Smiths Falls. And yes, as Sue was saying, we're bringing in experts each of the sessions, so they're able to ask as many questions as they want. We understand that each homeowner has a different experience, so it's not like a cookie cutter model, and we're like saying like this is going to work for everybody. Especially here in this area, like the houses can vary from like centennial homes to a bit much more newer houses. So we want to make sure that everybody is getting it done in whatever way works best for them. Yes, we understand that it's not going to happen overnight, and people are a bit nervous, and it's money. It's an investment, but it's going to pay. So an investment is going to pay off, and if you're going to be able to get some of those things, free of cost, why not invest in that way?
Thanks, Sadie.
And there are programs that are applicable to tenants, landlords.
As well. Yes.
Sorry, when you say free of cost, what does that mean exactly?
It means, I'm going to give you just an example for one of the programs, the Save Ontario. You literally just have to apply online. You're going to receive a phone call. They're going to verify your taxable income. They're going to verify how many people are living in your house. They're going to, send someone over to do an assessment. And this person's going to be like, okay, you're eligible to get free insulation, or you're eligible to replace your fridges because they're old and they're wasting energy, or you're able to get a heat pump, which, in case anybody doesn't know, heat pump both heats and cools the home. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, and that's it.
Is there a cap to the amount that they can receive for these changes in their house?
No, it's just depending on what you're eligible for, not based on income. If you're in the door based on the income, it's just based on, okay, your fridge's not really that old, so you're not able to get it replaced, or you're not heating, if you already had a heat pump, for example, you wouldn't be eligible to get a new one. So it's just like depending on each person's situation, but that's just one of the programs. And our program, by the way, is the cost of it is $25. That being said, we do let people know that if the cost is a burden to them, they don't have to pay it. The $25 is mainly to have people make a commitment to keep attending the sessions. But they're free to forego that payment if they want.
Thank you.
Anna?
Thanks, Sadie, for all this information. I was wondering, because you mentioned like you guys are accountable to the county and to the foundation for the 400 homes that you're or homeowners that you're trying to like sign up for the program. I'm just wondering, like I did the retrofits this winter, and so I got a new heat pump, I got new windows, and like I've gone through the whole process. Because I wasn't through your program, like would that not count towards your numbers despite advancing the county's efforts of
We can sign you up.
like a retro? Because I was like, I've just done everything here. Like I've had my second assessment, and we did have some costs up front. So like we went through EnerGuide to get our first energy assessment done, and so we did have to pay for that assessment, but it comes back in the loan. And so there are some costs that you can do up front, and like we got a heat pump with something else. And so we did pay upfront, but it's like our loan is currently in process right now to return to us. And then, like 0 interest for 10 years to pay it back. Like it really is like a great program. I was like, I wish I knew about this, because at the time, like navigating the website and reading the contract, I was like, what am I like? I have two college degrees, and I'm reading the website going like, I'm not following what's going on here. And I had a phone call with,
There's 6 programs.
yeah,
right?
there's a lot.
You went to the one.
Yeah,
But many people are struggling to figure out which program should they do and how do they stack them and all
Definitely.
that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's really quite a dog's breakfast right
No, but you're right. It should not take degrees.
it was extremely complicated. And so I'm just wondering, like, as far as word of mouth goes, like, what should I be saying? Because I know people who want to be doing these retrofits as well, where I could see how like having this type of like program that they can be educated on would be really helpful. So I'm just wondering, like, what should I
Well, you can say like, I had a really hard time.
like give this
going through
flyer?
this.
Like,
Yeah, give the
okay.
flyer. You have the QR code there, but like I had a really hard time navigating this program.
Yeah.
There is this organization that is pretty much deconstructing the grant programs for you. There's going to be people talking about all the kind of different retrofits that we think are the better ones to get. So as I mentioned, heat pumps is one of the experts that comes to talk to speakers. An energy assessor comes to talk to the group. Someone that specializes in building envelopes, so everything like insulation and air sealing. Someone specializes in solar.
Yeah.
We're going to have an expert on. So what are you going to pick on? That's the one. And the first one that we have is someone that pretty much shows an Excel sheet. I mean, he's done much more than that. Bob, are you? If anybody, anyone, yeah. So he showed an Excel sheet, and he's able to tell people, okay, how much hydro or gas are you using? How much are you paying? And here's what it would cost you if you were going to use a heat pump, or here's what you would gain from. So he's just pretty much doing the math for people. It's like, okay, so it sounds pretty good, and then we go from there. So we're bringing the speakers, we're reconstructing the grants. Not only that, like, and maybe I skimmed over a little bit in my nervousness, but you're meeting with people in your communities, right? So the Smiths Falls group would meet here in Smiths Falls. So you'll be talking to people that live in Smiths Falls, that have the experience of Smiths Falls. And people here have very different experience to the people in Perth, to the people in Lanark Highlands. No matter how close we are, it's still a different area, right? So you'll be talking to people that that you trust, and be able to recommend everything from like contractors and people that are able to like install your heat pumps. So you can say, oh, I worked with such and such and they were great, or I worked with this other person and they were not good. And just based on that proximity and that closeness. So we're providing all of that. Anything else that I might have missed?
I guess I'd just point out that Gilkin Foundation, actually, we had a little bit of money from them for the pilot, but they came back to us.
Yeah.
Because they were really impressed with our pilot, and they said they wanted to help us scale up.
Mhm.
So they could see how effective this program is. So we're just having trouble reaching people and getting them to sign up. So just tell them to come onto our website. Certainly, yes, hand out the flyer. We can provide more copies. And then have them just sign up on the website. And as soon as we hit, the 8 to 12 homeowners, we'll launch Smith Falls Group. It'll happen that quickly.
And them participating in that group means that they are also signing up for this free grant that is going to be given to them for
Not
upgrades?
necessarily. There's a half a dozen programs.
Sorry, Sue, maybe if you don't mind going to the podium, because
Sorry.
so that whatever's being recorded here can be picked up, because some of your comments are probably good for the public to get. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But no state.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So, yeah, there's about a half a dozen programs.
Yeah.
And so the part of the whole struggle is to figure out which programs to match with their needs, right? So that's part of the process that we go through first, right?
For them to realize what is most important as per the needs of their house residential.
And what they're eligible for and all of that sort of thing, and how they might be able to stack the programs too, right? So it used to be that you couldn't take advantage of more than one program.
Yes,
Now you can.
wonderful.
So I guess to summarize, we have people out there, a lot of people in older homes especially.
Yes, so I'll tell you, Sean, Smith Falls and Lanark County are known for older homes. When you look at the data, we have a disproportionately large number of older homes. Our program has attracted people in older homes. We have homes from the 1820s, the 1880s, right? This is not new to our clusters.
So homes that are not energy efficient, not certainly far more greenhouse gas emissions, responsible for more than they could be, paying more in utility bills, probably having a degree of more discomfort in the heat and the cold. And through this program, essentially you bring people together, they essentially hold hands with each other and support each other, get informed through this process. They're committing to going through this process for as long as they want to, with the ultimate end result of being introduced to grant opportunities, having return to the energy audit to better understand the situation that the opportunities that exist, and then being introduced to the grant opportunities, having assistance in applying for grants, I would assume too. And the end result meaning is that there is free dollars out there that will help them potentially retrofit their heating systems, maybe add cooling systems that they may not have today, improve, maybe replace windows and doors, add insulation. So in the end, it may mean a small amount of financial outlay, but that's usually going to be financed by an interest-free loan over a long period of time. And the energy and the savings in the utility bills are probably more than offset any costs that they're facing. And you make it easy for anybody who wants to participate.
Yes. So, and the end result is they end up in a more comfortable home, which is often when people actually experience the difference between their older drafty home and then how much difference it makes to have a home that isn't drafty, that's the big breakthrough, right? But then the other big piece is the confidence building that happens in these clusters, right?
Made it easy for them.
Yeah.
Excellent. Peter?
I see a really nice fit between this committee and the goals of this group. And I wonder if our group here would like to put on our agenda at the next meeting to talk about ways and means of getting 10 to 20 people out to a meeting in the fall with the concierge group. And because unless it's deliberate and strategy, is this committee interested in saying, we're going to organize something, we're going to get up to 20 people out to information session to kick something off
We'd be
and do it this fall.
really interested in that, Peter. Yeah.
So I'm asking,
I think it
and
makes,
be deliberate about it on our next agenda to.
you can
Yeah.
organize that, run a session in the fall, and
That would be
people can be
fabulous.
informed.
I have a question about, you said that there's some things there for people that rent.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people here do rent, and their, excuse me, their electricity bills are high, and if the landlord's not willing to do anything, then what do they do?
Well, yeah, part of the problem is the landlords don't know that there's programming for them, right? Because historically it has been, and I've been around this for a little too long, historically there were not programs that addressed tenanted situations. And so the landlords didn't even pay any attention. So yes, doing outreach to landlords in particular would be great. And I mean, maybe that's something to look at, is a very specific targeted session with landlords. And I'm presuming the town might have a list of landlords. I'm not sure, but anyway. But you know, that would be something that we'd certainly be really interested in.
Could invite the homeowners and renters, and then fill the renters with the information to push on to the
Yes.
landlord.
Actually, more than one session.
Is it the landlord's income or is it the renter's
Yeah.
income?
I'd have to look at that too.
There's depending on the program, there's one that's based on the tenants, and there's the majority would be based on the landlord's income. But it's, the person that's living there for one of the programs at least, that's the one that affects.
Thanks.
And we can definitely modify the presentation to like whatever you would want us to do. Again, we want to attract as many people as possible. Last thing, just word of mouth out there. Even though it's 6 months, it's such a small time commitment. It's 2 hours out of the month. It's just going to Ottawa and back kind of thing. And you're going to get so much out of every session. I'd invite any one of you if you wanted to attend one of the sessions that we have. I would say Perth because it's the closest one, but if you wanted to attend a session just to see what it is about, you're more than welcome to. Hope that's okay. So.
The butter tarts.
Sorry.
Are there
We
butter
can
tarts?
bring, if you're coming, we'll bring them.
Are you having a butter tart
I'm only going to
tasting?
meetings with butter tarts from now on.
Butter tart tasting event at Old Home Week?
No, not yet.
No? Peter?
Okay, any further questions or comments?
I think,
Mitra?
sorry, go ahead, please.
Oh, that's
Ellie?
okay. I was just gonna ask, like, so say for the Smiths Falls one, like, can folks from Montague, Lombardy, Jasper?
Yes. So no, the reason that we've just identified those communities is that's where I live in Port Helmsley.
Yeah.
You know, I come into Perth and Smiths Falls. I use both towns, and so
Whatever
That's-
location works better
yeah.
for them.
For Jasper, for example, because they are all kind of, they are
Yeah,
considered.
they would come to Smiths Falls.
Yeah. So I was thinking one of the reasons maybe that could encourage people to participate in this program and be willing to come to the sessions to get more information is to know exactly how these grants work. Are they grants or are they loans? Because
It's a
some
combination.
people
Again,
cannot, like, that's their main issue.
there's a
they
half a
cannot
dozen
pay.
programs.
Yeah.
They're different,
Yes.
right? So there's 2 loan programs, but one of them is the county, and that doesn't apply to Smiths Falls. And then there's a federal loan program. Others are different pieces of grants, lesser and greater amounts, and then there's the free
I
loan.
believe if somebody is living in 1800 house, and they haven't changed the windows, they are facing a cost of maybe $80,000 just because older homes also, they have lots of windows. So to change windows that are not mass produced, they need to be custom sized and everything. They are very costly. So if the person is going to be receiving $125 per window, if they participate in this program to be spending the rest of it out of their own pocket, that's one of the reasons that people stop coming to these.
But something that people should do first is an energy assessment, right? Even though you might have old windows, some of them might be working a lot better than you think. There's stuff like air sealing. So like even doing caulking can be really effective in sealing the air. Insulation is one of the bigger ones that we have gotten from the experts. That is one of the best things to do. Windows is not really at the top of the list. I'm not saying for every home, but again, the energy assessment is going to tell this to you, right? It's going to tell you this is what you need to do. So of course we would, yeah, like I myself participated in, when it existed still, a program called Renovate Lanark, and they had grants and loans, and I was able to get a forgivable loan for $10,000 for windows, and I lived in like the smallest house, and I barely had I think I had like 12 windows, and the 10,000 barely covered it, and it wasn't even the best quality windows. So I know for a fact that older homes are not going to be able to, especially with a percentage only being covered. But it's not the only thing you can do. So you should get that knowledge into what's
That's
best for you.
information. Exactly.
Yes.
That information piece is very important for people to know what they can benefit as per their own limits.
Absolutely.
To benefit, but also to understand what their first actions should be.
Yes.
So just, an example, we had a couple come in with an old home, okay, 1880 or thereabouts. And they were determined.
Yeah, heat pump.
Well, no,
get a heat pump,
I'm
right?
thinking of the one with the roof.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, they wanted to change the roof.
Right.
And so then they went through the process with us, and they realized that they in fact needed to address their water leakage issues first, right? Because that's doing damage to the home first, and then do a bunch of insulation type thing, both of which less expensive, right? And then move on to other things. So part of it is working out a plan for how you're going to approach. With an older home, you're definitely not going to be doing
So many
everything
things to address.
in one
Correct.
fell swoop,
True.
right? But this is part of the whole process, is to work out that plan, right? And again, which funding source you can apply to which activity. Right.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
I'm going, when I leave here, when I go home, I'm going to give this to my landlord. Will
I'm
he be
sorry,
able to go
that-
online and find out everything that he can do by this pamphlet?
Fairly well. That pamphlet is old. That was from our pilot, so I'll just clarify that. But online, we have a lot of updated information and all sorts of good stuff, and you can sign up
Okay.
for.
Okay. So I'll give him these two things when I get home.
Yeah, all the information's there. All the grants available are there. What the program is there. And I think my email is there. And if it's not, I can give it to you now, and everybody can email me any questions they have.
So, I mean, this is available, I assume, on the website.
That one isn't yet.
Well,
but-
if you guys a digital copy, I think what we
Yes.
can do certainly is share this on our the town's social media.
Yes, great.
And we do have thousands of followers. Hopefully they'll get the word out to people and work towards building a good group locally, or hopefully a couple groups locally, to take advantage of the service and the expertise and potential funding to help change some people's home environments.
That would be great.
So thank you very much for being here, Sue and Sadie.
Can I ask a quick question?
Okay.
Do you think it would be worth our while to come to full council?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because I think then you have an opportunity to, again, a different audience.
okay, we'll make that arrangement.
They're not as interesting as this group.
I appreciate that, Peter, I do. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, a number of additional items on the agenda. Allyship program. Costello, were you?
Yeah, so I've been speaking to Nicole yesterday. She sent me an I can't get that monitor working, but you can see up there, you can look here. So she's done up the pamphlet as best as she could with, I don't know if I can get it all on the screen so that you can see it very well. So she's done up the pamphlet for everybody to see, and I guess have some final discussions about. And I can happily send this out so you can see it in more detail in your email. I haven't heard back from her, Mayor Pexler. I think that's the same page. I haven't heard back from her. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
About your quote. You said you had sent your quote.
Yeah, I'll go back and check again.
So she said that she didn't get quotes from everybody, but she did get enough to fill the page where everybody was to submit quotes to her. So that's what she's done here. And like I said, I'll send this over to everybody so you can have a more in-depth look when you're at your own computers, because it's very difficult to see up on the screen here.
I think the bottom quote is mine.
Was that yours?
I think so.
And
Mine.
I'll follow up with her.
Looked good, I'm sure it was me.
So she has as well gotten a quote. She's only gotten two quotes so far. She didn't get a chance to get a quote from Impression Printing. She's got a quote from Canva, who quoted $77 for 100, and that's the 8.5 by 11, or $105 for 150 of the pamphlets. And Staples was $59 for 100, or $88.50 for 150. So both relatively not a bad price.
I would think we'd want to maybe get more. 500 probably wouldn't be on a per unit basis. Would be cheaper.
What about somebody local? Maybe.
Let's see.
Yeah, she hadn't got a chance yet to, I guess before she moved, she didn't get a chance to get a quote from Impression Printing.
I can approach them.
Okay, when I send this out, Mitra, you can forward it on to them and see what they say.
Yeah, you send it to all of us, please.
I'll send all this to the stuff she sent me to all of you. She sent it late yesterday, so I had a chance to get it on the stick. I didn't get a chance to send it out to everybody. So apart from getting a third quote, and we'll make sure that your quote's in there, Mayor Panko, I guess at this point it's kind of at final stages. So everybody take a peek if you see even a typo or you see something you want changed. I'll send it out. I'll obviously include Nicole in the group text or in the group email so that she's aware of comments being received. So almost done, and unfortunately she's gone now, but she committed to finishing it, and so she's on it, but I guess we're at the finish line with it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Good. Hopefully we'll have that wrapped up in the next month or so.
Hopefully by next meeting we can have it wrapped up. So I'll send it out, final comments, and then it's done. It'd be nice to have it done for 1 week, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Which we will not be meeting before Old Home Week.
With Old Home Week, what's the date?
August 2nd.
Oh yeah, this is August 14th, next meeting.
Yeah, August 14th is next meeting, so it should be okay. So we need to,
Yeah, so I guess if we can just, everyone take a look through it.
yeah. We'll just do
the
it via
quote
email.
to be added, and then Nicole or somebody can probably get it wrapped up. We get it printed. It'd be nice to have it in place for distribution during Old Home Week.
And I agree with you, 500 is a good place to start.
Okay. We do some budget for the committee, right? We haven't spent anything yet this year, so we want to get 500, even 1,000, depending on pricing, to make sure we've got enough to distribute. So we'll work on that. We'll seek everyone's feedback before we finalize.
Okay.
And Mitra's going to get us a quote.
Yes, I will approach them for sure.
I'll send that out today then so we can get moving on it.
Okay. Item 2, working groups. So, as we're aware, I think we communicated that we have completed our twinning with Zolochiv in the Lviv Oblast in Ukraine. So that's an agreement that's been signed and formalized. It's in Western Ukraine, not too far from Lviv. And what I would like to do is form a subcommittee of this group. We'll probably bring in some outside people as well. I've got some local Ukrainians as well as people who are a person who's in Ukraine every now and then, going back and forth. So to try and get some understanding and some ideas of how best to maximize the benefit of this relationship, both for the benefit of Zolochiv as well as our community. So looking at forming a group for that, And then, of course, we passed a resolution regarding food insecurity and declaring it an emergency. Council supported that. And I also want to form another subcommittee of this group. And again, also populate that committee with some expertise from the community, maybe from the Falls Food Hub, from the food bank, health unit, organizations out there that we can, again, just meet more informally to try to, one, better understand the local conditions when it comes to food insecurity, and two, what are some things that we can change, where can we advocate, what can we do? Because I think it's one thing to declare it's an emergency, but that's really a token gesture unless we commit to doing more. And so I want to see us do more. So what I'm looking for from a working group standpoint is people on this committee who would like to work with one of these two working groups. And then we'll plan some meetings going forward and bringing in the additional people to populate the committee. So I don't have to get a commitment today, but I guess, Carrie, if you can distribute and have everyone just respond with what group they would like to be involved with if they can. And I suspect we may have a meeting before the end of summer to get started and then meet through the fall. And timing, I'm not sure of that yet because it might depend on who else we're bringing into the group and what their availability is. So might be a bit of a challenge there, but I think there are two very meaningful initiatives that we're not going to ever truly maximize the benefit of the actions without a lot more work.
What is the scope of the activity of both groups? Because like the scope of their activities, like the responsibilities that they are going to cover, because that also, for me, at least my time is very limited and I would like to make the right choice for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested in gardening piece and like add my knowledge of how we can, even with the budget that we have, maybe we can also ask the council to just put a budget into this so that we can buy towers and start growing more vegetables for the food bank or the community to pick up the lower price and things like that. But also for the Ukraine, Canada-Ukraine group, what is the scope of the activities? That would really help to understand them better. Okay. And then based on that, we can.
So Carrie said that you can send out the twinning agreement. Mm-hmm. So we have that framed out, and that's a guideline.
Okay, perfect.
But again, I think we want to open it up to all possibilities of how we can assess.
Okay. Thank you.
I have Ashley as well as the chef on board for the food insecurity from
Wonderful.
as well as myself.
Excellent.
So
okay.
Food Hub is, I think, covered.
Yes.
But yeah, it'd be nice to see the food bank in there because
they'll be invited for sure. Hopefully they can attend and participate.
Okay.
Any questions? So that really looks after working groups and then.
Sorry, Sean, we'll just confirm with Carrie in her email.
Yes.
We'll just sign up with one from there.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Give you some time to think about it in your schedule and everything else. Yeah. And then the really looks after number 2 because that's part of the working group.
Okay.
Renovation bylaws. Carrie and I have been sort of discussing this since our last meeting, and Carrie's reached out to Waterloo and London. I'll let you take over.
Hamilton and London.
Hamilton.
So I reached out after the last meeting when we discussed it and we watched the videos. I reached out to Hamilton and London because they've implemented these bylaws. Unfortunately, I tried to get them on board for this meeting, but the lady from Hamilton is on holidays and the people from London had a meeting already booked for this time. So I do have them booked for the August meeting to come and discuss just basically how the bylaw came about, as well as how they enforce the bylaw. I think at this point, I think we need to kind of learn from the very beginning to right through from the thought process of the bylaw to how they enforce it. So I think from London, hopefully there's going to be 2 people who are coming. The one is who works in the licensing area and the other works in law enforcement. And then from Hamilton, I haven't been able to speak to her because she's been on holidays, but Just hoping to get an overview of how they, because I think they were the first municipality.
There were.
So just to get some thoughts from them, and then this group can decide, if we want to move forward and make a recommendation to Smith Falls Council about a renovictions bylaw. So hopefully we'll get both of them scheduled for August 14th. And I think that was it with them. Both very eager and willing to speak to our group, though I think it's something that they're quite passionate about. So we'll bring that forward in August.
Excellent. And just in connecting with Linda Tranter from the legal clinic in Perth, renovictions are a huge problem in Smith Falls. She defends against what she considers to be fraudulent N13s on a very frequent basis, and is very supportive of us considering a renovation bylaw and is willing to help. So she was on holidays last week. I'll circle back with her. But in the meantime, if you want to find out more, go to acorncanada.org. And they do, it's a one-stop shop for details on renovation bylaws across the country. Okay. Thanks, Carrie. 2025 events. Old Home Week. Peter, do you want to speak to what's coming up?
If there was something that this group was interested in, let's say with our allyship pamphlet, or just welcoming people to Smith Falls, because there's going to be a lot of new residents there, I would suggest the August 3rd Wellness Fest is going to be a fun day. It's all free for kids, lots of events, but there's going to be tables set up for information. So if people, a lot of different agencies will be there. And if the town, through this committee, wanted to have their own table, or we could partner with somebody and just have our pamphlets there, that would be the most ideal. All of the Old Home Week events, the committee events, are free. Everything's free. Our partners are also doing events, and some of those there's a charge. So, and it's very family and kid focused. We've worked really closely with the accessibility committee to make sure that all of our events are, from all aspects, are as much as we can accessible. And we've also, and so we think it's a very inclusive, when you think about Smith Falls for All, it's for all of Ontario. But we're getting 200 visits a day to our website from across North America. So people are, any connection at all, we really want people from everywhere to come on in and have fun for the 8 or 9 days.
Peter, could that be put together, the wellness, with our climate table we'll be having down there?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
that's where I am.
Other than a separate table, and we've already staffed it up.
Okay,
So
okay, thank you.
if you want if the allyship pamphlets are ready, it would be great.
Yeah.
I guess if anybody wants to participate, take a look, stop by the booth and help out for a while, that'd be great.
Okay.
Or just go down, spread the word, and open your house up if you have extra room. Accommodation is very limited. There's a shuttle. There's no parking at Lower Reach, hardly any, except for accessible. And so,
yeah,
parking, please use the shuttle for many, many reasons, or bicycle or walk, if you're able.
And as an example for the interest, the Old Home Week reunion dance has already sold out 1,000 tickets.
And there's a wonderful Friday night pride dance at the curling club, and tickets are very reasonable, and love to have you out for that one as well.
Could Healy provide a bus service
It's already
to
arranged.
get people to, that's what Perth does with Maple Fest?
The bus pickup spots are inside the pamphlet.
Oh, okay.
They'll shuttle you around.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
So as a committee, if we gathered all the good information that we've had and had pamphlets, we can make sure that even the climate ones for
Right.
from today, just have them available for people to look at.
That, Sue's group are going to be at the Wellness
Okay,
Fest already,
Yeah.
but absolutely.
I'm just trying to think of all the things that we've talked about and what directions we want to go. And if we have that information, that's the perfect space.
And I'm glad Linda reminded me that the Climate Action Work Group has a table already there.
Yeah.
And so, but we don't need to set up another, I know they'll.
No.
Well,
I'm sure
Of course
there's
you will.
lots
Of course
of,
we will.
there's lots of tables we can
Yeah,
piggyback flyers on.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a nice Ukrainian flag there with the twinning. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Falls Food Hub has a table. We're doing
Yeah.
a food booth, so we're going to have all the information on the food hub as well. An info table beside the food.
So there's a very detailed souvenir brochure, much bigger than this, for $5. It's meant as a souvenir. But the website is the best place for updated information. But free, accessible. And if you want some fun, the best thing is Float Fest. Grab a blow up anything, put it in the water, and you'll float down to Lower Reach. The current will take you, but bring a paddle. Parks Canada has agreed to shut the canal down for 2 hours while we float down leisurely. And it's just going to be a blast. Really good visual too. It's a lot of fun.
Any questions for Peter?
So yeah, mark the Wellness Fest, August 3rd at 10 o'clock. And you could stay for summer all. You don't have to. Okay.
Just a note, so yesterday I had a visit from Sergeant Nadine Wilson from the police, and so for this summer, if there's any events that that this group would like to put on or something, they have 4 students that I forget what the program's called.
Youth and Policing Initiative.
That's it. And so she's offered if this group has any events before the end of the summer, that they have the students who if they're available, would be more than happy to assist with. So just keep that in the back of your mind. If you're even if it's not for this committee, if you're looking for volunteers for the food hub or something, some other
They showed
thing.
up Monday.
Yeah, they were,
And helped already, yeah.
Leon brought them in on
So, yeah,
Monday.
We've already got them on board.
Yeah.
She said the whole point is to get them out in the community. So if there's not just for this committee, but
Nice bunch of kids. Yeah, I met them Canada Day down at Lower Ridge.
so
Yeah.
if you have any need, feel to get a hold of either Sean Keoghan or Nadine Wilson, and they'd be happy to help.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Diana.
Oh, it's me.
Partner with,
Yes.
collaborate with.
So
suggest-
basically, this came about at.
We're in Community Health Services because this.
Yes. So this is about us potentially working with the Rideau Community Health Center. The way this kind of came about in my mind was at the Smiths Falls Pride event. I was chatting with some of the community health nurses who had a stand there. And while chatting with them, it was really clear to me how a lot of their initiatives are rooted in everything that we're doing in this committee as far as our pillars. And they're particularly focused on equitable community-based healthcare within our community. And there's a couple of different things that I was thinking. So pardon me for looking at my phone for this, because I'm reading the email basically that I sent to you so that I can recall. And so the biggest thing, one, with Nicole leaving, having a space on the committee, I was thinking that perhaps, I don't know if we can ask people to join, but having somebody from the community health center, I thought would be really informative for us, especially on what are the needs of our community right now, especially when it comes to some of the programming they have is things called social prescribing, which focuses on the social determinants of health. The social determinants of health are what we are talking about here. Housing, poverty, that is what we are talking about. And so there's a few things. One, I was thinking, could we have somebody from the community health center on this committee? And then 2, could we partner with them for part of the allyship campaign that Nicole had shared was those mirror decals of having allyship starts with me on mirrors. After the May meeting, I reached out to all schools in Smiths Falls. So I think I sent 8 emails to principals and the school boards, and I only heard back from 2 saying that they were interested. Nobody else responded. I can definitely be following up again, but I was wondering if maybe I'm perhaps I should direct my attention to the community health center if we want to do this campaign and have these in public spaces. So I thought that was another option. And then I was looking on their website, and they have a health and wellness framework and a model of like mental health and well-being that I think the town can adopt. So it's really like, it is what we are doing on this committee, and it's what we were saying that the town is using as its guiding principles. But when I was looking on our town website, there's nowhere where we formally say that. And so the mental health resources and our well-being resources are hidden under subcategories. So we have helpful resources and hotlines. There's mental health resources there. In health services, there are mental health resources there. Like, things are kind of sporadically placed, but there's nowhere in our community where it says mental health and well-being. And it seems small, but having something where it's like formally a clickable button shows that as a town, we recognize the priority of mental health and well-being. We recognize the importance of ease of access. And as a town, like, we are using like our principles of equity as our guiding principles. And so they have something that's called their IDEA framework, and it's inclusivity, diversity, equity, anti-racism, and anti-oppression. Again, this is stuff that guides this committee, but there's nowhere where we're formally, as the town of Smiths Falls, stating that. And so I think there's a few options of like pulling inspiration from their framework to have like a more formalized one that the town adopts. And then, yeah, I wrote like why. I was like, our principles are all in line. And I have the CEO's email, Michelle, and she's already expressed interest in collaborating. And everything that I've shared with you all, I shared with her. And her email response just said, I look forward to hearing how the discussion went. So it seems like she's open to like a variety of different ways of collaboration. I don't exactly know what the best way forward is here. I was just like, I feel like there is something here. A lot of our principles are aligned. I just don't know exactly like what it is, what we could do. So that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Sure. Okay.
Not in reinventing the wheel.
Yeah,
It's
like we're not
already there.
reinventing stuff. Like this, like their principles already exist. Their principles of like equitable care, mental health and well-being, like although they are applying it to healthcare, we can apply it to like our operations. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you for introducing the topic and the conversation going. I'm going to turn to Peter, who's got, well, you can explain it.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. One is next year is the municipal election. You're absolutely right that the town hasn't formally really nailed that mental health. But if we create a new vision, a new 4-year vision, every new council and a plan. And I think one is we make sure that at the election next year that whoever's elected consider adopting that as part of their vision for the town. And it gives us time to do it. Secondly, to working with the Community Health Center, I love everything you said. I would think as a next step is a brainstorming session between a group of them and a group of us, like an informal idea session. We just start, I don't want to say spitballing, but what are we already doing and where are we absolutely aligned? And how could we do it together, or does it make sense? Or how do we do it better? And are there any gaps? And then, so I would start with just an informal roundtable, some Tim Hortons coffee, and really a facilitated, documented session. But yeah, if they should be reaching to us. It's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
So I applaud your running into I talked to the nurses that day too. And I know what they are trying to do, and they would welcome and embrace the help.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to chat with them. Like I just kind of was talking with them, and they were sharing things, and I was like, I really value the community health center, and one thing led to another, and it just like kept unfolding. And so I'm happy to like meet and to continue chatting with them and hear their thoughts on like what could be possible. And I'm also happy to share with everybody the links that I sent Michelle, the CEO, as far as ideas that I was thinking, because their health and wellness framework and their idea framework, I think, can really be guiding principles, because it's based on everything that we're saying. It encompasses the equity, it's the anti-racism, it's the inclusion, and we can also be like promoting some of their, like, it is community-based care that is accessible within our town. And like, I was looking into what is their social prescribing program, and I think that particularly could be really interesting, because prior to looking, I didn't know what that was. But it really is like for folks who are already using the health center and have been identified by a variety of staff there as like socially at risk, they connect them with like not just healthcare, like they're connecting them with social opportunities, with recreation, with programs. And so yeah, well-being in the town, while we are focused on, of course, like our critical pillars of housing, poverty, inclusion, and food insecurity, we can address all of those things. But if we're also not addressing like the community element of it, of like we're all kind of a collective, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this now, but yeah, I just feel like I'm like, I don't know, something is here and I don't know what it is, but.
If we pull the group together for just a further exploration, I would include the nurse practitioner-led clinic, invite them, because they have very similar philosophical and approaches and resources, and they also have mandates, not quite the same. They don't have the same resources, but their philosophy is the same. They do social prescribing.
Yeah.
They promote health and access.
Yeah, and like I told, and for us as well, like because I'm just like a resident member of the committee and not representing an organization, I was like, I don't know what local organizations already have when it comes to like some of these initiatives that we want to be pushing towards. So I think also like talking with them and being informed can, because like what we were saying earlier, like we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to just keep that wheel turning. We want to get that wheel moving faster. And so yeah, I think just working with the community health center, having them on the committee, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So first off, Peter's too humble because Peter was the executive director there for a number of years. So
say more.
So yeah, a lot of what you've talked about, he probably built that foundation anyway.
Say more. Yeah.
But no, but you're right on. I mean, there's a lot of alignment. Share the same priorities.
Yeah.
RCHS does an incredible job at the Falls Food Healthy Partner and provide. They're there on a once a month, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to connect people with resources, but I think the broader community probably doesn't know as well what they do and the value they bring. So I agree. I think maybe a delegation so they can speak to what they bring to the community and the resources that they have available. And then I agree with Peter too, having that maybe just a working meeting where we would sort of brainstorm and collaborate. And some of the foundational stuff you referred to there, probably should be here, right? Should be within the fabric of the municipality.
Yeah, because even though they're applying it to healthcare, it's like the principles of equity are what we're applying here as well, right? So the major principles remain the same. It's just what we are applying them to is different. So yeah, I'll send the email out to everybody that just so everyone knows specifically like what links I was referring to from their website. And yeah, I'll email Michelle back asking if am I able to ask for interest in the delegation?
Yes, if
and
Michelle
stuff?
or representative.
Yeah. Okay.
And Carrie knows her as well, so that.
Yeah, it literally just started at the Pride event where I was just like, oh.
If you want to include me in
the email as well, perfect.
If there's specific dates that work for her,
Yeah.
we'll accommodate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Will do.
Okay. Thanks, Diana.
Thanks for hearing it out.
Any other comments or questions? No? Okay. We have no correspondence items. We have no in camera. Next meeting date, August 14th. Looking for a motion for adjournment. Moved by Diana, second by Janet. All in favor? We stand adjourned. Thanks, everyone.